Coach, first of all, we do appreciate your time this afternoon, and it's a two-part question. I mean, obviously the road woes in a conference, 3 road losses. It's a two-part question. One, what do you do to, what are some of the reasons why some of the issues on the road? And number two, what can you do to correct those?
Yeah, I think, first of all, the league is as good as it's been. I've mentioned that before. And, playing on the road is a war, as is playing at home, because you can't take a game off. There's just such talent and such depth this year. I think, when you go on the road, you really have to be able to execute and come up with key stops and big baskets at the right time. You're walking a fine line. You always are. Our maybe more than most teams, our margin of error isn't as big. So we say it's a fine line. And I think you just keep working. You got to keep trying to find yourself. But that's how good I think this league is, and the talent in the league, and that's what you're facing.
You got Clemson coming up tomorrow. They have been on such a roll, knocking off a bunch of ranked opponents. Just talk about your thoughts about Clemson and what you guys have to do to defeat the Tigers.
Yeah, very, very good. They're, again, playing well in our league. I don't even know where they were projected in the early season, but very physical, very good defensively. They really defend well, but they're showing some versatility on offense. There's just some good players, and again, they're hot. They've played well, and you're going to have to play well, obviously, to get one against them, and we'll be back home, so we'll have to come out and establish, obviously good basketball right from the get-go.
Tony, this team's identity the past few seasons has been defense. How does maybe coming back home in that home environment maybe allow you guys to get back to that identity against Clemson?
Yeah, I think, the first half we were pretty solid defensively against Florida State, but couldn't come up with some key stops when we needed to, and that was, last time we were home against Miami, we did some solid things defensively at times, but you just keep hammering away. And, we'll have to be ready against the kind of offensive threat that they pose. But like you said, there's no better place than home to get things righted, and we'll certainly look for a big performance and hopefully a lively atmosphere tomorrow.
Tony, forgive my tardiness, but I was just wondering, as you look at trying to figure things out, how much do you think it is trying to do things differently versus doing things maybe better?
Yeah, I think it's always the ability to do things better. You can't just change everything. You look at little adjustments, but you try to, again, be a little sounder, a little tougher, a little more disciplined, and then hopefully we'll play better. We had some good looks. We work on, obviously, shooting the ball. Some games you just miss some shots and you're a little off, and I think offensively we got some looks that we had a hard time knocking down at crucial times. But absolutely, you just keep going. It's a long season, and every game you got to be ready. So I think it's a little adjustments. You're always looking at personnel, but trying to be better at what you continue to do.
Do you worry much about guys trying to do too much?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're trying to get victories, there certainly is a balance. And I think, the way we've been good in the past is guys playing together, sharing the ball, playing together defensively. And I think guys want to win so bad that sometimes the tendency is trying to take on too much. And so, you watch film together and you just try to get quality shots. But there has to be a freedom and aggressiveness that your guys have to go get some baskets. That's important too.
Tony, there was 3 seasons ago you guys kind of went through a struggle on the road, four straight losses. Is there anything you can take away from that experience that maybe helps you spark something on the road this year?
I mean, you're always trying to learn from the past and apply things. But every team is different. Every year the league's different, so there's a lot of things there. But, it's more about establishing what we can do to play at our best with this team, finding, again, the right things, looking at little adjustments, but keep working and knowing, all 3 of the games that we lost on the road, we've had chances. There, whether it's been a 2-point loss or there's been possessions that have just been crucial. The way we ended the half was frustrating. We had the ball up 6, and we turned it over. They hit a tough 3 to close to 3 points going in. So we've been in those games. So it's as I've said before, it's a fine line between being successful and not. And I think that's where you got to try to just improve in those little areas that can make the difference, and not just throw everything out. Say, no, this is what we're going to do, and do it a little better.
Clemson coming in, I think they've won 3 straight, and it's been all against top 25 competition. What have you seen? I know you just got back and have to turn your attention to Clemson. What have you seen from those guys that's kind of gotten them off to this great start?
I think they're real sound and physical defensively. They've always been a good defensive team, and then offensively they're showing some versatility, shooting the ball well. Roper's playing terrific for them. Their foreman's really having a big year. He's having an excellent year. He's been a good player for them, and I think that they're a team that's showing versatility. They're playing obviously with good confidence because of the success that they're having. So it's like our league. Don't know where they were picked. I can't remember, but they're good. And that's, you look at our 3 road losses against Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Florida State, talented teams. And Miami, we got them at home here, in Notre Dame, talented teams. Really good league. And that's what this thing's about. And you got to try to fight to get your victories when you can, and try to steal some on the road.
You've talked a little bit about learning about your team, perhaps more through adversity than when times are good, so to speak. Have you learned anything about these guys through this stretch?
Yeah, I mean, we've had our practices were real good leading up to the Florida State game. We had 3 days to practice, and I was hoping that we'd be able to really capitalize on that. And again, there were some good stretches of basketball. I don't want to say there weren't, but their spirits have been good, working real hard. Trying to communicate well. So, that gets tested. Obviously, when you go through another tough loss with a quick turnaround, you've just got to be ready to go. But I've liked how they've responded. A lot of these guys aren't used to losing. They've won a lot of games over the last couple of years. So that's a new experience. And again, having been through this as a coach, you keep hanging in there and keep battling. That I do know, and I think our guys have that understanding. But it's easier said than done.
Coach, do you feel it's an advantage or disadvantage to have this quick turnaround?
Don't know. I'll tell you Tuesday night. How's that sound?